Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. There we go. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as we always do. But before we get started, I got to say, got two of the gentlemen with us this morning to kick this thing off. Good Captain Leonard, good morning. How you doing this morning?
There are two
Good,
participants in the conference.
good morning, Raheem and the Morning Glow
Please
family.
announce yourself.
Okay, they trying to get us to announce ourselves early in the morning, Lord, my Jesus. Okay, there we go. There we go. Let me see. I think we get, yeah, there we go. Got two songs with us as well. Badger, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
It's another blessed day to be around some beautiful, awesome people.
Amen, amen, amen. I second that emotion.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness.
Oh, here we go. Never mind. I'll take it back.
Tucson, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Hey, look, when Brad just said, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Look, when Brad just said amongst beautiful people,
Yes, sir.
he forgot to say, and Tucson.
Oh Lord. Look, and look, and like Alderman Davis just say, good morning, Evans family. Oh, and you too, Relona.
Yeah.
And you too, Relona. Cassandra, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Oh, the queen is here. The queen is here.
Cassandra, did you hear that? Tucson, they say the queen is here. The queen is here.
Good morning. How's everyone doing?
Hey, doing well, doing well. I gotta get started, man. I got some news, and I'm hiding a happy elephant lady and Porcupine proud to hear, Leonard, that Stacey is running for governor again. Stacey is running for governor.
Yes!
Yes, she is.
Yes, yes.
I screamed. I screamed, y'all, when I heard that. I was like, what? I
Yes.
I was like, it was crazy. I'm
Hmm.
so happy. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm excited about this one now.
Yeah, when she made that announcement, man, I was like, whoa. I told my wife, was at school, she didn't know. Man, the reaction that you just had, Cassandra, that's the same reaction my wife had. So I think a lot of people are really looking forward. Leonard, I know you're heavy into politics, brother. What does this say? What message is this?
Well, knowing that the work that she has put in, this was awesome to me in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know,
Yes.
I have had a chance to sit with her on quite a few occasions and talk to her about certain things and just, I'm so glad she finally announced because that's
Mm-hmm.
going to really change a lot of the politics if we could get her into that governor's seat.
Mm-hmm.
And a big congratulations to two brothers whom I've seen come through. Uh, Andre Dickens for
Yes.
mayor.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has some real positive things. Going to have a lot of fight against him though. So
Mm-hmm.
we got to support him as much as we possibly can. Congratulations to my man who was started off as an activist as well down in the city of South Fulton. My
Mm-hmm.
man Khalil.
Okay.
He was
Okay.
elected mayor of the city of South Fulton. So
Mm-hmm.
it's great to see younger people moving into positions to
Mm-hmm.
actually make these changes because that's what really makes things work is getting those people elected who
Mm-hmm.
are really support change, not
Yes.
status quo, not
Mm-hmm.
same old crap every time it's time to go elect someone. So
Mm-hmm.
we seen the outgoing mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms partner and work on some things that benefit the people of Atlanta. Her
Mm-hmm.
endorsement of Dickens and working together with Dickens to see a lot of programs and things in the city of Atlanta.
Oh, hold on now. I didn't know she had endorsed him.
Well, the different
Yes, she
programs
did.
and the programs that she really wanted to support. I think she saw that Dickens was definitely the person that supported actual change, not
Mm-hmm.
status quo, constantly infighting and things like that, but actually trying to split the pie up evenly
Mm-hmm.
because that's what it needs to happen. It can't just be the same old for young
Yeah.
people. And we know
Mm-hmm.
what's happening in the city of Atlanta. A lot of incumbents
Come on.
across the state lost their
Mm-hmm.
seats.
Yes. Yes.
And that is a direct sign of people want to see some change. Right now,
Mm-hmm.
you want to say, okay, we know what these type of people do. Let's see what
Mm-hmm.
these other folks do.
Yeah. 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 Bring some freshness.
Right.
Cassandra, I try to contain you, Cassandra. I couldn't. What's on your heart, sister?
Yeah, I'm actually, I don't know why I am so intrigued with the city of Atlanta, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
live in Atlanta, but I've always paid attention to the politics in Atlanta because
Mm-hmm.
it affects the metro area,
It
and
does.
I'm in
It
Decatur.
does.
So the things that happen in Atlanta, we better remember that
Mm-hmm.
it always reflects on
Yep.
to the metro Atlanta area.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just praying that people will be open minded enough around the state of Georgia to give her a chance
Mm-hmm.
because she has been bashed, but she has stood her ground. I mean, oh man, they have put.
I guess we lost Cassandra there, or did we lose you, Raheem? Looks like Raheem, we had the whole thing go down. Badger, you still there, I'm sure.
Always.
But it was good to see people that I've worked with and know their agendas finally move into this next phase where they can actually make things happen now as mayors. Especially, it's a big deal. And like Miss Cassandra was pointing out, the capital really reflects the cities in Atlanta and where we should be headed. So hopefully, this would be a good example of Miss Abrams' success in the state of Georgia as the governor.
Dude, it's going to be interesting to see.
Right. A
And
lot of,
hopefully other people will learn from it.
and it has to happen like this across the United States where activists, activists or change-minded people have to run for these positions in order for it to happen. And it's good to see Kamal Khalid Kamal win the mayorship down in the city of South Fulton because there's a lot of that is going to be a great place to watch because they're still fairly a new city and they tried to do it the old school way. And it's great to see this guy, Khalid, whom I've known from the movement, who was a really decent person, move into that seat. And all the hard work he did to get there to build his supporters by being on the first city council and things of that nature. So that's good to see, man. It can happen, is what I'm saying. You know, Badger.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, that's something that I tell you all the time that I'm so tired of all this talk.
Hmm.
I want to see action. I'm tired.
Yeah. And in certain places, I know one guy told me, excuse me, one of my professors had a good indicator of the type of city. If you want to know the politics,
Okay.
All these
Okay.
people
Good deal.
coming against her. The
Thanks,
white
Leonard.
supremacist
Yeah.
groups were going at her. I mean, so forth.
Okay, Cassandra,
yeah.
we got kicked off for a second. We had some issues there. We got kicked off for a second, but I heard you on Tucson was talking, and Leonard he picked it up and carried us until I was able to get back on the system. So catch us up to speed to what you were saying. Excuse me. Catch us up.
No, I was just saying, you talking about Leonard?
No, you.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Cassandra.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying that it was Stacy that got hundreds of thousands of people registered for the last election, and I believe that had a direct impact on Biden winning Georgia. Definitely, I believe that it had an impact. And even though she was offered to be a part of the Biden administration, her thoughts are with Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to see things change in Georgia. And to have, oh my God, if we can work to have her get in that position as governor in the South in Georgia, OMG, what an impact that will have around the country for a Black woman, the first Black woman to be governor in the state of Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
That would be amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me go. There's a couple of things I wanted to say, but I'm going to pull everybody into the conversation. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
Man, it's about time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is this going to be a woman governor for Georgia?
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Woman and Black.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
And what's going to have to happen is people have to really make sure that they show up and support her, because
Exactly.
it's definitely
Mm-hmm.
you have to get these incumbents who are not doing anything, who are blocking everything. You got to get them out of the way, especially during the time where we have President Biden in office trying to build and support the various states. Atlanta is a big deal. And Atlanta has been set, as much as we've been growing in the city of Georgia, there's still been a huge effort with that old mentality.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as long as a Republican governor sits in that seat, you'll see that. So Georgia needs to be opened up so they can receive the benefits of electing a Democratic president.
Mm-hmm.
All the federal funding and things that has previously been denied or held back or refused, just flat out refused, that could help people.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that?
Will become available. And that's amazing, especially when you have so many, the homeless population continually growing. We need more funds to treat mentally ill individuals and things like that. There's still the issues related to that old mentality that has crippled the city of Atlanta. If you're running a major city doing as well as Atlanta, one thing that's for sure, you don't do it on 6 cents on the dollar.
Come on.
So people have to understand, with change comes a price. Everybody has to participate. And that's the way it works.
Will it ever, even before I do that, let me include Toussaint. What's on your heart, brother? Toussaint, you there?
I was just thinking that across the board, across the country, these are the type of people, evidently, this lady. And I remember when you start talking about her, and me and Cassandra was talking about her, that these are the type of people that we need in our community to not only that we are glad to see, but they know how to work in the community, and the people are willing to work with them. Because if you can't be trusted, ain't nobody gonna work with you.
Exactly.
So we need that, and then we need people. We need to back them up, right? Because they can be good people. They can be good for the community, but if they don't have the proper backing, we lose again by sitting at home, complaining and crying.
Yep.
And say what we shoulda, coulda, woulda did. That's no good. And if we don't do that again and keep doing it, be consistent. The one thing that we are consistent in being inconsistent.
Yes.
Hey, we won. And then we lay down on our backs. And then the next 4 years or whatever years it is after, we're right back where we started. And then we got to do it again.
Ain't nothing changed.
So that's it. Yeah, right.
Exactly. Cassandra, you asked the question, how does that happen? What exactly were you asking about?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
You said when Leonard was explaining something, you said, how does that happen? What exactly, what question were you asking?
No, I was just talking about Stacey and the whole it's a good old boy thing, you know, and it's been so much good old boy stuff going on in Georgia, especially that we have to change the mindset. How is it that, a woman that has shown that she is for the people of Georgia, and we got to stop just thinking about, oh yeah, what's she gonna do for black people? No, when you're in a position I say this all the time, when you're in a position, whether it's the mayor, the city, you work for all of the people in that city, in that state. And I believe that Stacey will work not just for black people, but for all of the citizens in the state of Georgia.
Yep.
And Leonard, I'm curious to know, how do you feel about that? Is a politician, because they're black, just supposed to be working for black people, or are they supposed to be working for all the people in that state?
All the people in the state,
that county.
And that's what she has been able to do, is to reach out and still. She's not. She puts your right to vote ahead of her agenda. She wants you to register vote however you choose. Listen to her if you like her. She has a great direction. But that wasn't what she was all about. She was about people exercising their right to vote, and to usher in this approach that everybody can progress. You can't forget about those disenfranchised individuals and just go and service the business community. You have to have an approach that connects everything in the state of Georgia, so that people prosper in south of 285, north of 285, east and west of 285, rural areas as well.
Are we in some kind of way, and I'm just asking the question, are we in some kind of way insinuating that the people that's in office right now are not doing that?
No, we're not insinuating it. It's the truth.
Okay.
Because one, this is why this happened. This is exactly why this young man was able to come in here and do what he did in the city of Atlanta and become mayor. He beat out a previous mayor that was very strong in that position.
Yes.
And you have to remember it was historic with with Bottoms was mayor. And we know what she chose not to run. So there's a greater agenda of people really pushing for change with different ideas. But there's a lot of gridlock there also. It's like you said before. Yeah, we changed the frosting on the cake. We got to change the inside of the cake too. We got to change them in cities all around, because one, as diverse as Atlanta looks, there's still a structure there that keeps Atlanta in a certain space and still want it to be small, to the point where they're seceding from the city. Okay, and that's why they're going to get their own cityhood.
We're talking about that good old boy system.
That good old boy system that seeks to redistrict, gerrymander, and do whatever they can to maintain control, because they know that the people are going against them. And it's great to see these incumbents, boom, moved out. And so you don't need people talking about, well, we should have term limits. That's for lazy people. Decent people should have the right to go and vote for the best mayor. And if they're happy with the mayor that they have, they should continue to be able to be happy with that mayor and continuously vote for that mayor in that city. You can change mayors every cycle if you would like. You already got term limits, but you should limit the term by voting, not by some forced mandate that would push a great mayor out of office.
Now, Cassandra, are we to assume? And I'm just doing this for the sake of conversation, because I'm gonna tell you something. I know who I'm voting for already. It's a done deal. But are we to assume that Stacey is the answer to the issues that is plaguing Atlanta or the state of Georgia right now?
I'm not saying that she is the go-all answer, but I'm saying that she's a great start.
Okay.
I think she's a great start.
And one, we have to quit looking for. Black people have to stop looking for a savior. This is not a savior issue. This is an issue of leadership. And is she able to do the job? as much as I just enjoy supporting her, I still am going to be doing what I've been doing with every other governor
Mm-hmm.
or mayor that I've been with. You know, my agenda hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
So one,
Mm-hmm.
we have to work with her to make sure that she is great as she is and well known as she is. There are
Mm-hmm.
going to be
Okay.
some issues that a lot of people ain't going to like that come
Mm-hmm.
up, you know, as we deal with throughout her leadership as well. But at least there's someone there we know operating with a sane mind and the intention of doing what's best for the state.
Mm-hmm. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning, good morning. Toya with the T, calling from the ATL. What's up? Good morning.
Toy you with a T. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Doing good. We're talking about your homegirl Stacey Abrams. She actually has threw her hat in the arena to run for the governor of the state of Georgia again. How do you feel about that?
As we knew she would.
Yes,
Yep, as we knew she would.
and should
Of
have.
course,
Mm-hmm.
because of the way they cheated the last time. Absolutely. We
Mm-hmm.
know that she should. We know she should be a shoe-in. And not only that, the way Keisha handled the whole Atlanta riot, that's what they call it, Atlanta riot thing. I think she can slide in there for something great too if she really wants it. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I expected Stacey to be back in the game.
Okay, good deal. Do you think she's the answer to a lot of the things that's plaguing the state of Georgia right now? Do you think she's the answer?
That's the problem. The problem is not them. The problem is the people.
Mm-hmm.
Like one person, the president, the governor, is not going to fix all of the problems, right? Stacey
Mm-hmm.
ain't the one raising kids, going out there shooting stuff up, white nor black,
Mm-hmm.
right? She's not going to be single-handedly stop any white or black person from shooting or another white or black person,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, like, what is it that we want her to handle? You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of it has a lot to do with the people, for one, and then the rest of it has to do with our leadership. So she's not going to make kids go to programs just because she creates them.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to make parents go and take more college classes just because she comes up with a grant to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
It's a twofold thing. And no one person, no 15 people, no 200 people, no 1,500 people is going to solve or be the end or be all to the problems that we have in this world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Badger, what's on your heart? Badger, what's on your heart?
I was doing some research,
Mm-hmm.
and I really hope she wins. I came across a tweet from Brian Kemp.
Mm-hmm.
That's the current governor, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who 16 hours ago is literally on Twitter saying how Stacey Abrams cost Georgia millions of dollars, has a never-ending campaign for power, has already hurt Georgia businesses and cost our state millions, all in service to her ultimate ambition to become president of the United States.
And
Mm.
how big? Why in the world would this black woman even have such ambition? I can't stand Governor Kemp.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just shaking my head while I was listening to you guys and doing research, because I'm like, this is going to be one of those ridiculous things.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime any person starts standing up for equal rights, medical rights, across the board for everybody, you start hearing some of the most dirtiest things being
Mm-hmm.
told and spread about them. They're trying to find whatever possible dirt that exists out there to shut them down, to make sure that they don't get those positions and stuff like that. The state I live in, and there's doctors. there is a list of people I am aware of with me on it that have been fighting for more rights for disabled people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, more access to health care for people across the board. And it's a joke.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of
Exactly.
fighting we're having to do and things like that. And everyone wants to believe what's put on the news or on a Twitter or on a TikTok, you know. And it's depressing and sad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here I am looking her up, seeing what her actual background is, what she has done. And then, you know, here this is, the current governor, you know, talking about her far left agenda of open borders, gun confiscations, high taxes, and anti-law enforcement policies don't reflect who we are as Georgians.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, that sounds like a battle that would happen here in Texas in a heartbeat.
Because it's the same mindset.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly.
So
And that's the thing right there. It's almost like certain individuals, and I could be wrong in this, but it's almost like certain individuals don't want to allow progression. They wanted to keep it the same old way it's always been, stay in the same old situation we've always been in, never move forward and never advance. And
man,
that's what it sounds like. Go ahead, Badger.
I am a firm believer that Texas is literally the testing grounds.
Mm.
They test the American public by seeing what they can get away with in Texas, and then if they can get away with it, they start implementing it in other states.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of the school stuff started here in Texas first.
Mm-hmm.
Then it spread out throughout the country because, you know, the parents didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And now the parents are complaining about how bad the schools are.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do what I can. I always work from the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Because of my background.
Yeah.
And it's just, I just hope people wake up and support the right people and not repeating the same sheeple mentality that's been repeated for so long.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Rico, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain. Grand and rising, and how's everybody doing?
Hey, doing good, brother. Talking about Stacey Abrams. I know you're very familiar with Stacey here in Atlanta, in Georgia, and she's actually threw her hat into the arena to run for the governor again. Rico, is that a good or a bad thing? What do you see? What do you see there?
Answer that question again.
Stacey Abrams has thrown her head into the arena to become governor of Georgia again. You know that she got handled a little unfavorably, lack of a better term, the last time. Everybody thinks she should have won, but some things happened. So what do you think about her running again?
I think that's awesome. I mean, that shows resilience. I mean, if anything, it shows people that she doesn't even realize that are looking at her to keep fighting. Continue to fight. Don't give up just because you run across that brick wall, that good old boy system, that status quo. You know it needs to be broken. We need progress. We need change. We need growth. And if you only sit down on your hands and give up, you conform it. It ain't gonna change. You know, so I heard what everybody was saying earlier when Donald said that about how things are hard to change because we don't stay proactive and consistent. And then Leonard said that about how people cry about term limits. And I was one of them that used to say that about term limits, but he said something huge. That's laziness. If you got something good going, even with president, we probably should rethink that with president. If you got something good going, why should you be limited to how many times you can let this person keep that good thing going, keep that train moving? So, you know, it really is an example of how lazy people are, and they don't want to be bothered with having to go through the process. So now, you know, we have this mentality for some reason that all these black people, Martin Luther Kings and Malcolm X's and Shirley Chisholms and all them were saviors, when really and truly they were soldiers. We had it confused. They were soldiers. They just were they were just the most courageous soldiers, and they need our support, just like the troops need. They don't need to just sit back and do like we did with Obama. Oh, he in the White House now he got to do what he do. We can just sit back and wait till the next 4 years, but then when midterms come, we never leave them hanging. We done left that soldier out there in enemy territory by itself at the midterm. So if her running is one thing, winning is another thing. But then how consistent and proactive are the people that she really needs to help? How proactive are they going to be?
Exactly.
How motivated are the people that really need this vote? The people that should be voting, the poor, the ones that are sort of in the place where they're feeling hopeless or feeling like, well, my vote don't count or it don't pertain to me. Because, you get a lot of poor people and people in certain situations that just feel like, man, I got too much other stuff going on and too much sorrow and despair that I'm in to even worry about trying to find a way to vote. But how you going to motivate those people? Because those are the ones she's fighting for the most. She's fighting for everybody. Don't get me wrong. But she's one of those people that are about equality. So, even if she gets in, she has a job on her hand. Baptist said that it's fixing to be a dog fight. They're fixing to throw all kind of stuff out there. And it's real funny how people can make you think something is bad just because they say it. But if she did have ambitions for running for president, what's wrong with that? I know plenty of 5, 6, and 7, 8-year-olds that say they want to be president. What's wrong with this black woman having those ambitions? But listen to Mr. Kemp. He want to put it out there and say something negative, so you'll think it's negative that this black woman really don't want to be governor, but she want to be president one day. What's wrong with that?
Exactly, Rico.
Go ahead, Leonard.
Rico hit the nail on the head. You got to see it by now. You can't continuously deny the truth when it's in front of your face. If you live in here in Georgia, you know who Brian Kemp is. You know what he's about, and you know what he does. You know what he did as Secretary of State as well. You know he's not good for Georgia. But what it shows you is that the enemy side showed up.
Yeah.
They really saw it as I need to go vote. And he said what he said to alert those with this white supremacist racist mentality. How dare this black woman even think about being president? Don't that same mentality to his people mean she knows she ought to know better than that.
Stay in her place, basically.
And that's how they keep a lot of things going the way they keep it going in cities across America. How dare you, especially in the South? How dare you want such power? That's what you have to hear. Soon as she announced, he went after her, attacking her. But if you think about it, it was the same as always. He didn't say anything new. The same rhetoric he's gonna use to run against her. Same rhetoric. He ain't gonna change nothing, and he ain't gonna talk about nothing new. So
basically, he's laying his foundation right now.
Oh, of course. And he is going to have a lot of support. And we have to go and support our candidate. You have to support your candidate. It's not going to happen one at a time. Everybody got to go to the polls and support in their best interest. And with what is going on right now, it's obvious. It's clear. It's clear who's blocking programs to support people in such a time as this. We should be far too progressive to allow people like Brian Kemp and that type of message to still be alive. That message should be dead by now.
And that's the thing I was talking about. Certain individuals don't want to see any progression, don't want to see anything move forward and move away from that old mentality that has plagued us for so long. Cassandra, what's on your heart? Toya with the T coming to you next.
Yeah, I'm definitely knowing that she is on an uphill battle, and it's going to take people around Georgia, some changing their mindset when it comes to her looking at her as a black. I just wish people would look at people as are they able to do the job?
Yes.
Not what
Right.
color, what gender.
Mm-hmm.
Is this person good for your city, your county, your state? That should be the real question, not what color they are, not
Yes.
what gender they are. But people have that old, I'm gonna say it again, that old boy, they still stuck in that old boy mentality. Like, okay, first of all, she's a woman. What the heck?
Mm-hmm.
What the heck? A woman governor in Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
in the South?
Exactly.
Then they're looking at, oh, hell no, she black.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have two different dynamics happening that should have nothing to do with the job that she could do for Georgia.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. The phone lines are open. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Talking about Stacey Abrams. She's actually threw her hat in the arena to run for the governor of the state of Georgia again. Wasn't treated too fair to the last time. We're hoping that there is going to be a different outcome this time. And we all have to come together. We all have to come together, band together. This is the time right now. This is a moment in history right now where we need to come together, band together, and make sure that we support our candidate. Toya, what's on your heart, sis?
Well, yeah, no, I think, God don't make no mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
She was supposed to win the last time.
Yep.
But they cheated.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much fire on now after this last election and things now. I don't know, but I believe now she's the shoe-in. Because when God says something, it's going to be, no matter what you think, I think, the world think, Trump think, it don't make no difference. So I really believe she's going to be a shoe-in this time around, because I think, not only the world is watching us, but United States, we need, or we crave for something different. Look with Andre Dickens.
Mm-hmm.
We're craving for something different. We don't want the same old thing that's been in there, man. Like we can no longer identify. And I'm talking about the United States people. We can't identify with the old white man, good old boy mentality anymore. Even white people not with all that no more. Wait a minute, hold up. We don't do all that. No, wait, that was my grandparents. We don't do that. And I don't believe that way.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I always say, because I talk to people all the time that get in this car, and they're like, well, are you a Republican or Democrat? I'm not going to identify with neither, because I want what's best for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be doing all these labels and, oh, you're this, you're that. And I believe that's what Stacey Abrams is. She don't like parade a party. She parades the pride.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She parades the point that we're trying to get to as a whole. It's not like she comes off as a Democrat. You know what I mean? How they try to force that division. And I just don't see that with her. I believe that, she's going to try to be fair. And because she comes from, a background of people that are used to being unfairness, she's probably going to be a great candidate to be fair, across the board. So I just really feel like that it's Stacey's time. It's women's time. It's just time for we as the people to have just a different kind of spirit in office, just something different, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think she's gonna win hands down. It's gonna be like a what they call a landslide.
I would love that. I absolutely love that. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm just listening because I stay in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
The South is the South.
Yes.
We live in dirty South.
Mm-hmm.
South is dirty.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to get it cleaned up. And when you have somebody, and I think Rico said it, and some others said it, we don't need a Moses.
Mm-hmm.
We need people.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That are willing to come out of the wilderness.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
Per se. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Crying about, man, you know what? They got good graves in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
What? What did you just say? Man, yeah, we used to enjoy. We didn't even have to worry. We had cucumber and watermelon.
Mm.
Yeah, but you also had brick with no straw. You forgot about that, didn't you? So anyway, I hope her the best, and then there's more that needs to stand up and do something.
Yeah,
If you
absolutely.
can do something, then if you see somebody that you know that can do something, get off the couch and go out there and vote.
Exactly. Badger, talk to me, sir. Rico, coming to you next.
I sent you a video.
I
was wondering if you could play it.
Okay, I would have to. I need to view it first to make sure you know what it is. About that,
It's just a news report of Stacey Abrams announcing and things like that, and it also shows some the comments some other people are making. So it's from the news.
Okay. Let me see, can I get that on for us? Let me take a look at it. And I should be able to play it, man. It should be okay. I hope you ain't send me nothing crazy.
I ain't gonna send you nothing crazy, man. It's legal.
Okay. I got you.
Just a clip from the news channel.
Got you. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
I'll go back to sort of what Toya and Cassandra was saying. You know, we gotta definitely be prepared for the rhetoric and the tactics they're gonna use to try to distract everybody. You know, and she said two of the things they were gonna use against her. They already put it in your mind. Number one, that this black woman has the audacity to dream and chase the American dream of being president of the United States. You mean to tell me that we tell people that one day in America you could be whatever you want to be?
Come on.
And then when you think that they can, you won't try to use it against them like that's something negative.
Yeah.
So not only are they going to use the fact that she's a woman and she's black, but guess what else? They gonna question her sexual preference. They already tried that too.
Yep.
Little by little, she ain't married, is she? Do she like men? So you know, really, truly, she leaving it so wide open. I mean, listen, she's so neutral. That's why I say I like what Toya said too. She's so neutral that you can tell she is for the people. If she wanted to be a conservative, if she wanted to run on the Republican Party, you still couldn't tell by the way she talks. She's just talking about what her platform is. You know, she really doesn't go too far left or too far right. She seems to be just for human beings.
Yes.
So they're gonna have to use anything they can to try to distract people from the momentum. But you know, you were saying something earlier about the importance of Atlanta. Atlanta is not only a place where people are motivated to chase trends, but Atlanta is a place that sets trends. So most times that has been the path throughout human nature. And these major cities, they set trends, and then what you see happen in those cities, they sort of trickle down to the rest of the communities, smaller cities. Like what happens in Atlanta ends up happening in Birmingham. Very soon afterwards. So you know, you see that momentum going on with this black participation and this excellence that she's showing, and then you see it spread throughout the South, and that's how the change starts. But people will have to understand, like I said with Obama earlier, you just can't sit up and get her in and then start celebrating and partying, because we've been celebrating and partying since integration.
Exactly.
But we didn't keep our feet in the fire. We got to keep our feet in the fire. Watch C-SPAN instead of living hip hop.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Watch more news channel, MSNBC. Stay more involved and proactive instead of just waiting till the next election, because that's most times when the people that need politics to help them out the most are only paying attention when it's time to vote.
Exactly. Cassandra, what's on your heart, sis? It's an uphill battle, and like Rico said, man, they're gonna try to bring anything they can into the forefront to try to discredit her. Talk to me, Cassandra.
Yeah. I mean, but about her is that she expects this to be a battle. She knows that they're going to attack her character. They're going to do everything they can to dissuade the white community, because most black people understand who Stacey is. We see who she is, and not just as a black woman. We have watched what she has done with her when she was in the the legislation, when she's making legislation decisions, we see what she does. So we don't have to be convinced. But the rural areas, I believe her challenge is going to be these little rural towns where it's still old boy, white old boy at that. Those are going to be her areas of challenge, I think.
One of the comments, Raheem, that was made, because like I say, I live out in a rural area. And so Stacey Abrams came out here. And one of the comments that was made, there was a big event at the square with her there, and then at the regular offices, Democratic office. And she came there for the question and answer and everything. And one of the comments that an older white man made, born and raised here in Georgia, way further out than me, who came this close, and she said, "You know what? No one has ever come out here to talk to us or anything."
Wow.
So I just appreciate the fact that you came out here to talk to us. And he still had to travel almost 25 miles to get to see her and let her know that, one, there are people that are ready for change. But when they hear that message is when they'll be changed. So that was the big thing about pulling rural areas in, and all the work her organizations has been doing is letting every potential voter in Georgia understand that it makes a difference if you come to the table, if you come vote. It makes a difference. She opened up places for them to vote closer to where they live, to make it easier for them to access the ballot as well.
But Leonard, I hear sometimes I hear certain things, and I keep the broadcast moving and stuff like that. But sometimes you just can't waver over something. Do you know that the magnitude of what you just said, man, and what he said? That's powerful, man. That's powerful, because this is one of our Caucasian brothers, man. That's saying, I appreciate the fact nobody has ever come out here and took the time. They wanted our vote. They wanted to get our vote, but they've never took the time to at least come out here and at least speak to us,
because they're suffering as well.
Yes,
they're suffering right along with everybody else.
Absolutely.
Trust me,
Absolutely.
they're not safe as you would think they are. They see things changing. You have communities not far from the city of Atlanta. You know how they say, you go 25 miles, you in Georgia.
Yeah.
So you still have those people that have not connected really to understand that there's stake in the matter. They've only been preached to from the point of a hatred aspect. And a lot of them are ingrained in that. And we used to fault the Democratic Party for not reaching out for new voters that have not been touched before. That's a big deal. You may not always agree with everybody, but there's a point in a conversation where it becomes beneficial for both. It becomes completely rational and it makes sense. And only thing that the other side is feeding you is fear. They never tell you about anything new or positive that they're going to do. The message is be scared, be scared, be scared.
Exactly.
And these people are tired of that. It don't make sense. Be scared of what? Be scared of what? There's never been a black person that I know of in office that's have treated people unfairly because of the color of their skin. Same
Exactly.
programs, benefits. Usually things open up more when you're more inclusive. We see the work that diversity has done. We know how diverse the people doing the work in Atlanta is. There's no reason why this man now should be governor, because he don't look like nothing or nobody that resembles progress or decency.
Wow. That's deep. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
I'm with Leonard, and I really, I hope to do something more than what I did last time as far as canvassing, because that's what I did in Lawrenceville last time. I want to really, I would love to be one of those people that hit a lot of the rural white areas. And I did that at 16 in my hometown. I went out in the rural areas, a lot of white people, and was canvassing for people to vote. I don't remember what the election was back then, but I think it's important that we get out and we do our part, and not just sit and say we need change, but not willing to get out there and do the work. You know, I'm willing to do the work, and hopefully I can get on with her campaign this year and really make a difference. And everybody, I don't care how simple you think it is, even if it's making phone calls from your home on her behalf, that is helping.
Absolutely. Toy, you want to talk to me, sis? What's on your heart? Toy, you there? Badger, talk to me, sir.
Man, so I just shared another clip, and thank you for sharing it on the. Yeah,
I'm trying. Go ahead. I'm trying to pull it up to get the set.
Yeah. So and when y'all are listening to it, I'm also trying to find another clip for Brian Kemp, because one of the other things that I've learned to do over time is to see how the who's the person called? The newscaster, I guess. Trying to find the right word. You know, is talking to the person that's running for a government position. Like, what are they saying? You know, what are they asking them and things like that. And I found it quite interesting over time that I would compare the clips between this person that's running and this person that's running, and see what kind of stuff that they bring up. And this clip, actually, I started laughing listening to everybody, because the CBS, it's a clip from CBS News talking to Stacey Abrams. It's hilarious, and would really like everyone to hear it, because it literally covers what we're talking about right now.
Okay. Good deal. Rico, what's on your heart, brother? I'm trying to get that queued up, Badger, so we can play it. What's on your heart, Rico?
Yeah, you know, I was just figuring out when they designed this system of government, how complex the thought process was. But at the same time, it had to be very meticulous and complex for it to work. Especially for it to accomplish its ultimate goal for the people that actually established it at the point in time. Or the people that took it over. I'll put it to you this way. Because everybody really says that the first president was a black man. You know, you don't heard that one.
Yeah.
And the Moors actually designed the government. You know, all of a sudden it got rearranged, and the United States was renamed, and all of a sudden we got a new first president. But somehow they made that system work. And so I think about the term limit thing. Imagine if Clinton or Obama had never had a term limit. We wouldn't have seen a Trump. We wouldn't have seen a Bush. So, you know, really and truly, if you got a good thing going, but you only guaranteed 8 years at the most, you got 6 or 7 years at least plotting plan to sabotage whoever may come up after them to succeed them with all this rhetoric. So now I go back to what we saying about the woman in Georgia. They're going to do her the same way.
Yeah.
If she gets in without people being supported. But that same rhetoric they want to use, like what I pretty much think I know what they're saying about how they use the talking point to make somebody look bad. But they're going to use that same rhetoric, and at the same time to try to stop that momentum. But it just, to me, it's just real. It was a voila moment, you know, like an epiphany. I just thought to myself, well, you know what? That was sort of smart for them to limit the president to 8 years. Now, I'm pretty sure they got plenty of other reasons, but that's one of the benefits, is the fact that after this president's term is up, if you got the midterm sold up, all you got to do is play that political game. You can use the news anchors, you can use propaganda.
Yep.
You know, and it sort of goes back to, you know, the woman is running for mayor. She has it's really, you know, you're really not supposed to judge people just off looks, man, but she has a sincerity about herself to where you feel like she has a heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
it's like you can really tell when some people have a heart. I don't know if y'all ever seen it before, but I've seen people start off grassroots, as being representatives of people, being a mouthpiece, and the more they pick up momentum, they have to put people around them, and those people around them prevent the public from having access.
Yep.
But you every now and then you see these Martin Luther Kings, or even I've even seen white politicians that will say, wait a minute, let them through. I want to hear what they got to say.
Mm-hmm.
They really want to hear what everybody has to say because they know everybody has a voice. And she's one of these people.
Yes.
To me, she comes off as very sincere. And it's just like you could tell naturally. You know, I don't know if everybody could read that in people, but she just has a sincerity about to me and a concern, a compassion for what's right, to the point of where I hopefully anybody that is going to be voting in Georgia doesn't fall for all the rhetoric that's to come.
And I can guarantee you it's gonna be a lot. You know, people have to see through all the smoke and all the painted mirrors and all that stuff, man, to see the real person and see who's really standing before you, and make your determination based on that. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother? Toussaint, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just listening. You know, if you want to repeat, just keep doing the same thing. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
So if you're not satisfied, and it's because you've been sitting on the couch, you must like it.
Exactly.
I mean, we pitiful. I'm sorry to say, but as a whole, we like to complain. But then the other side, whatever side that is, that misrepresents what they do is they put stuff out on somebody that they don't want to make change, because corruption don't want change.
Come on.
Corruption want to keep being corrupted because they don't want to help. It's amazing how every time there's somebody that can do something in the community, they're the bad guy. I can't figure that out. And then we sit back, man. You know, hey, he coming in the area and he bringing sandwiches. So anyway, I don't like politics.
Exactly.
So I just listen.
My thing, I'm trying to pull this a clip of that the Badger had, but it got so many ads before it, man. It won't let me get to the meat of it. I really want to see what it is. Badger, I'm gonna try to play it, brother. It's giving me a little issue right now, but we still working on it. Leonard,
I should be able to play it from my side.
Okay, play the part where she's actually speaking. Play that part for me. Let me know. I'm gonna go to Leonard. Let me know when you got everything queued up, and I'll come back to you. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, I think, you know, it's plain. We've been saying it for a while, and it's great here to be in this area specifically, and so close to the Metro Atlanta, because you get a chance to be involved and to meet these people. And politicians are very accessible. And what I used to encourage people about before is, if you don't know, if you just want to know what their agenda is, you can go to their website. You can ask them questions and they'll respond. If you want to, you can go to their events where they talk to you about certain things. You know, I was amazed at how well she is able to explain fiscal policy.
Yes.
And she doesn't mind doing it. And she doesn't try, even if you ask her a question, she's very genuine, and she answers your question.
She don't dance around it.
She's not going to dance around it or anything. She's known for working across the aisle with people and listening to people. And that's what it's going to take, man. It's going to take somebody that's willing to work with everybody. And you know, with our legacy and history of racism and things that have gone on in government here, we can't just act like we don't have the history we have. We can't pretend that never happened. And we need politicians that understand that as well. You have to look at policy and see, does it disenfranchise who it disenfranchises, or at least be concerned, or at least pretend like you concerned enough where folks can't look at you and say, look who came up and said the positive things, and look who came up and said the negative things.
Yeah.
You know, and then when we go through this whole battle where now, if you see how social media adjusted due to the lies that were constantly used on social media and all these types of things to try to destroy people's character. If I hear you got a good message and some great marching orders, and I can follow you doing what you're doing and be a part of your positive agenda, that's what I'm going to do. Doesn't matter the label.
Yeah.
Woman, a man, or whatever, young, old. What's the message? What you trying to do? Can I get behind what you're trying to do?
Exactly. I think I think Badger has the video. Badger, what is that you have right there?
This is a CBS morning show clip. I did not mean to play that. If you look at the page, it says Stacey Abrams announces another bid for Georgia governor. Updated December 1st, 2021 at 7:28 p.m.
Okay.
And this is what they based their interactions with her in this newscast.
Okay. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna put it on the screen. You actually gonna have to play it from your side.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Hit the play button for me.
Conspiracy that goes to the highest levels of
Let me know if y'all can hear it.
And Stacey Abrams joins us now. Stacey, good morning to you. Allow me to be the first person to read you a great New York Times review here that ends Abrams purely for chief ambition to entertain. That's good news. And we want to get to the book. But first, while we have you, there are some twists and turns in our world as we live it that I want you to comment on if you could. There are about 11 states right now in the country that have passed restrictions on voting that could have a big impact on 2022 and beyond. What concerns you most about what you're seeing right now?
That rather than this bringing every American to attention and raising their concerns, this is being treated as a partisan exercise. Unfortunately, this is Republicans who are stripping access to the right to vote from all Americans, and it is a danger to our democracy. This is not about who wins an election. It's about whether we have elections that are free and fair. And unfortunately, in these states, we are seeing a response to free and fair elections by trying to strip away and restrict access, particularly for communities of color, young people, and the disabled. And that is deeply problematic and should be of concern to everyone.
So there is the issue of how it affects trust in our elections, in the active democracy itself. And yet there's also the practical political implication. What does this mean, do you think, for 2022 for Democrats' chances?
Again, I certainly recognize that I enter this conversation as someone who has a very strong allegiance to the Democratic Party. But what is so important is that we not relegate this and be so reductive that we think about this as a purely political issue. Because the reality is, no matter what the intent, the undermining of our democracy is a danger to everyone, regardless of their party. And that's why it's so urgent that we stop treating this as a binary conversation between Democrats and Republicans and really focus on this as an issue of citizenship versus partisanship.
Yeah, the Senate will begin debate today on a very interesting bill. It's called the For the People Act, and it would create federal standards for voting access, some minimums for providing access to the ballot box. Doesn't seem to have a chance, but what do you see? Is there a path forward for this bill?
I think the more we watch these states undertake the continuation of what the insurrectionists began on January 6th, the more likely we are to see real response at the federal level. This is not the first time the federal government has had to step in and reassert the fundamental notions of who we are as a nation. And my hope is that while this process continues in the U.S. Senate, that we see a return to just the fundamentals. We've got former secretaries of state, former governors who are sitting in that body now who understand how important it is to protect the right to vote for every American.
Stacey Abrams, you're known for writing your romance novels like Hidden Sins, Secrets and Lies, Deception, Never Tell, The Art of Desire, and they're written under the name, did you like that reading, Stacey? Written under the name of Selena Montgomery, but for the first time, I'm holding up the book. You've written a book under your own name, While Justice Sleeps, and boy, do you take us on a ride. It involves a corrupt president who's ruthless, a justice of the Supreme Court who's in a coma, a law clerk, a biotech company. It is so complex and so wild, and boy, what a ride. Why did you decide to put your name on this one?
The only reason my name wasn't on Selena Montgomery's novels is that I was writing tax articles and social policy treatises at the same time I began publishing in fiction. And it was much easier to keep them separate. It was less about hiding that I wrote romance and being more concerned about romance readers not wanting to read romance by a tax wonk.
But Avery Keene, as you point out, or she says, I'm not just a law clerk. Tell us about her, a law clerk.
So Avery is this incredibly complicated young woman who is finishing her second year as a law clerk to a Supreme Court justice and who's just trying to figure out what she's going to do next. She's got to deal with a strained relationship with her mother and a really uncertain future. And she gets dragged into the story where she has to execute this power of attorney, this responsibility for a Supreme Court justice, but without really having the authority to make anyone do what she needs them to do. And she's got to stay alive while she tries to do it.
Yeah, mom's got some drug
Good
issues.
deal, good deal. We got to pull away from that. We got to pull away from that. Definitely appreciate that. Let me go to Charles. Charles, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Unmute yourself.
What's going on, man?
Oh, what's going on? Now we know that and we were discussing this morning is Stacey Abrams has thrown her hat into the governor race again here in the state of Georgia. What do you see there?
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. She's not going to win. She's a hypocrite. Just like mostly all the people who talk about voting laws and stuff like that. It shows right now how hypocritical they are with speaking about how voting laws are and what people have to do with getting IDs and things like that. And then they turn around and tell you that you have to show an ID to get your vaccine.
How are you tying? Yes, I can hear you, but I need. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Barely, man. You're real low. I can't really hear you. It might be my area.
Yeah, it's probably your area. I'm trying to figure out how you. I'm trying to figure out how you're tying the two together.
Because look, if you turn around and say somebody had to get an ID, if you're a Democrat, which we know Democrats are pushing that no ID to vote type things like that. Okay.
Are you sure about that?
We know they are. Is that not a fact?
Oh, I just asked you a question. I said, are you sure that's the Democrats that's actually pushing that?
You don't know that.
I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you.
I just said it.
Okay, but that don't mean it's true. Do you believe that? Because
so I'm asking you don't know that.
No, it ain't got nothing to do with whether I
So
know
you
it or not.
disagree with it, is what you're saying?
No, brother, listen. What I'm asking you is a simple question.
I understand what you asked me, and I'm asking you. I said yes, and
Charles, you're not going to talk me, brother. You're not
I
going
can't
to talk.
try to overtalk. I can barely hear you, brother.
Okay, but my thing is this right here. Whether I agree with it or whether I know it or not, I'm asking you: do you think it's the Democrats? Excuse me, that's actually pushing that? Is that what you're saying?
Did she? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Why are you?
Okay. That was a simple question, brother. You danced
on.
all.
But I'm asking. I asked her the question. I said yes, and then I said, "Do you not agree?" I answered the question. I said yes.
My thing is this right here. I don't do this broadcast on whether I agree or whether I don't agree. I'm listening to your point, your viewpoint, and then I'm gonna get the viewpoints of other people.
Okay.
So stay right there. Stay right there. Stay right there. Stay right there. Leonard, what do you?
You ain't let me finish my statement.
I'm coming back to you, brother. I'm building something. Hold on. Stay right there. Don't go nowhere. Please don't go nowhere. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
But you ain't even let me finish.
I'm dealing with the part. Charles, can I do this? Can I do this?
I really don't have much of an opinion about what Charles has to say about the issue.
Mm-hmm.
That's Charles' opinion.
Okay.
Now, his opinion is a lie, but that's his opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
It's clearly not true.
Okay.
And these are the things you have to be aware of when you are dealing with politics. You have to deal with people trying to spin it
Charles is
for
frozen.
their narrative and things of that nature. How far are they willing to go with the lie that they have chosen to support.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can't make you do what's right or anything like that. But what I know is I know where I'm at. I know what side I'm on. So the average idiot that believes these types of things that people just throw out there that don't make any sense
Mm-hmm.
and just get lumped together, it's just from a hateful point of view. And that's why it looks that way. That's why it does not make sense. And it seems to be irrational. Now,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, for instance, it was true. Go find out.
Mm-hmm.
Go find out if it's true or not. Hold people accountable for what they tell you.
And that's why I would jump into that when he said, "Do I agree or do I?"
Exactly.
And no,
So
I'm not.
if he really was telling the truth, you should
Mm-hmm.
be able to go and find this.
Mm-hmm.
You somewhere. I'm sitting here telling you, I've worked with leadership in the Democratic Party and everything else, have worked with the campaign for voter IDs and looked at these issues, whole community awareness issues related to this. That
Mm-hmm.
is just not true. And that's why we do what we do. Because
And
one, when you stand in there,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
telling the truth and being rational, let people gravitate towards you. And that's what I like about Abrams' point. I'm going to do the best that I can to tell you the truth, to provide for you an opportunity to explain things you may not be aware of. And then I'm going to let you make the choice to exercise your right to vote. So let
Absolutely.
the devil lie. Let the
Mhm.
devil scream every time the positivity gets involved and come in the room. So that you know who they are.
Exactly.
So you know what they about.
And we lost, and some kind of I hope Charles come back on. He said he was in a bad area, and I want, just for the record, I didn't. There he is. He's back now. Just for the record, I want people to know that no, I did not kick Charles out the room. Something happened with his feed there, but he's back with us now. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? You said you wanted to say something.
I'm just tripping. I'm tripping now. I am tripping now. I am having a ball. Now I'm into it. I was trying to avoid this conversation, but now here I am because I can't figure this out. We can applaud in some kind of way and be willing to support a need for our community. And we get to this point where we're saying, okay, yeah, we may get somewhere. And then in the same conversation, for some kind of a reason, we have people of some kind of like-mindedness, and somebody comes and goes the other way. And I'm not discrediting anybody. I'm kind of like you, Raheem. I don't pick sides. But I am confused.
Exactly.
How you can look at the same situation or the same person, and then you pull out something, and then we start talking about the right and the wrong of Republican and Democrat. I can't figure that out.
Exactly.
And I am confused. So I can't wait to see how this conversation is going to go.
Exactly. And you said it just right there, man. I'm not here to pick no sides. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to keep the conversation going. I'm here to ask the questions and allow everybody to ask the questions that they want to ask. We're gonna go back to Charles. And Charles, I'm glad you came back, man, because I don't want my audience to say, well, you kicked Charles out. No, I didn't kick Charles out. Charles has some issues with his feed. So we're gonna go back to Charles in 1 second, but we do have another caller. Curtis, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
What's up, family? How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, brother. What's on your heart, man? We're talking about Stacey, man, and I think we're about to turn the heat up just a little bit on this stove. But let's see what's going on. What's on your heart?
Well, we now know who the most feared woman in America is. We thought it was Michelle Obama. It's not. Stacey Abrams. That's number one. Number two, I'm tired of these so-called Republicans, and I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm tired of these so-called Republicans jumping on these TV broadcasts, these radio stations, these podcasts, these TV series, whatever early morning talk shows with a bunch of talking points. When they don't have, and I'm gonna speak from a perspective of just being a human being. When I cast my ballot, on who is giving or offering something to my community and to the community as a whole. Black, white, candy, stripe. I'm tired of them throwing up these talking points, man, that have no real credible proof, as well as they ain't put up nothing. They ain't put up no solution. None. They haven't passed a piece of legislation in they have passed one piece of legislation that was a tax cut. And you might as well say 8 and 12, almost 13 years. Don't nobody want to look at that. Now, here's what always bothers me, or what gets to me, right? What I notice is it's never voter fraud. It's never a problem with the voting when a particular party maintains power in a district. What do I mean? Well, Oregon at one point was a job Republican stronghold. I could be mistaken, but if I'm not mistaken, years ago, Oregon was a Republican stronghold. For years, Oregon been doing mail-in ballots. Nobody goes to the polls. The minute that it switched from red to blue, all of a sudden, it's a voting irregularity. The thing that really makes me laugh is it's like that in every state that is red. And then you can see that the only places where the ballots is being questioned is in the African American and brown communities. African Americans and browns, they
Amen.
got the time to
Amen.
vote.
Amen.
You understand? Let me just keep it all the way 100. It's the reason why voting day is on a Tuesday. It's to disenfranchise. It was a slick way of disenfranchising the vote. Because poor folk can't get out and vote.
Come on.
They gotta go to work. Right? Lastly, I'll say this, Raheem. I am a strong and fervent believer in what the Lincoln Project is doing. And I'm a Democrat. I'm a strong and fervent believer in what they're doing. They're trying to put up legislation. That I hate to say it, brother, and I love you, but that mess you just put out there, don't put that out there. Put it out there with some facts. State some statistics. State some things that we know that you read from a column that is a non-biased column. Not something you read from Fox News, not something you got from Candace Owens, not something you got from any place that has a biased opinion. Because they're lying to you.
Good deal. They
are lying to you and the people waking up to the lies, man. Like, come on, people are waking up to the lies, man. Ain't nothing wrong with Stacey Abrams. The problem is they're scared that Stacey Abrams is going to tug on the heartstrings of America and pull those votes to her side. That's what the whole problem is.
Okay,
man.
Hold right there. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, PG version. Cassandra, what's on your heart, sis?
I don't have a PG for this, so I might better not talk right now because I don't have a PG version for this. Because this is like stupid. Leonard, help me because I don't have a PG.
I do understand.
What has that girl done? There is not a
nothing
thing that girl has done that has been against people. Has been against communities. Please tell me one thing she's done that was against communities, period. I just need him, if he can tell me that. What is the one thing when she was in the legislature, the things that she voted on? Tell me one thing that she voted against that was against her community. If I can hear that, I'm good. Other than a lie, because a lie ain't gonna fly. Let me just say that a lie ain't gonna fly.
Come on now. I'm waiting on Charles. He actually his feed has gone out again. I don't know if he's disconnected or I don't know what's going on, but hopefully he's going to come back in.
That's the divinity intervening.
Well, I want to see my thing is this right here, and y'all know how I do, man. I want to have everybody's opinion, and I encourage everybody to call in, whether they agree or not. You know, everybody has an opinion, and I like to allow them to voice their opinion, whether I agree with it or not. And certainly, I don't agree with what Charles is saying, but still, this platform is for him to it voice his opinion as well. He has the right to have his opinion on here, and we give that freedom. Rico, what's on your heart, brother? So, Charles, if you can, come back in, man.
Yeah, I agree with Raheem, man. I don't agree with what he said. You know, but sometimes the universe will put a stop to some of that foolishness. You don't have a choice. You know, I did want to finish hearing what he had to say, though, out of fairness.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we had a conversation similar to this last night about people being adopted by certain people.
Yeah.
And despite what my beliefs are, or what makes me uncomfortable, I still had to look at what was best for the most vulnerable, or who needed the most, who would benefit the most from it. And so I look at the situation with politics. I consider myself somewhat conservative, but from the standpoint that the Conservative Party, on their pedestal that they're on, the platform that they're on, I can't go along with them. But she said something in that piece that Badger played. Don't make this about politics. Y'all are trying to make these issues binary issues. And that's the tactic. That is the tactic. When you get people that are blind and loyal in solidarity to a certain belief system, they'll consume everything else that comes with it. See, so a lot of those conservative people are only conservatives because they're white males and they believe in the white male ideology. Dominance and superiority. We number one, we come first. And so they support everything else that comes with it. Then you got the poor white people, they think, well, you know what, man, most of the people over here look like me, look like Trump's administration. You remember the Trump administration picture? Remember those stoic looking white men? So, you know, it's hard for you to think that those people can represent your best interests when you are a minority or look totally different than them, even when you're a woman. But for some reason, we get caught up in being loyal to certain things based off of one little thing. So, you know, like, first off, I'm going to discredit that he said about that ID thing, that no ID. I have never voted and not showed my ID. Every time I had to go to vote, I had to show my driver's license. And then they would mark my name out off and verify who I was.
Exactly. Me too.
Now, this vote ID thing is a brand new, another ID they're trying to make people go out the way and get, another roadblock, another obstacle, or just another requirement. Because the system is broken, like Curtis said. Every time something starts going wrong or you start losing, the system broken. We need to find a way to modify it, to make it get back right. What's right? In our favor. That's what's right. That's the way they look at it. So now you think about it. If people really voted based off of compassion, or just, you know, if they just used the popular vote, a Republican would never win. If they ever just went off the popular vote, like Curtis said, ever since George Bush, man, they've been cheating. There's always been an election problem. The Chads. You got all this stuff going on. This has been in place for all these years now. We're going on centuries of having a political system, but all of a sudden, the most important system that we need, both for our elected officials, is flawed. How they keep finding these flaws? So, you know, it lets you know there's an agenda, and people have to wake up. They can't keep buying into this binary politics, like you said. And so that's why they're worried about Stacey. Because if Stacey keeps talking the way she's talking, she's gonna wake up some people that are blind conservatives.
Exactly. Exactly.
And if she was a conservative saying these same things, she will wake up some people that are blind Democrats. Just so happened, I think Stacey Abrams is about like me. She conservative, but she is not radical.
Exactly. Exactly. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. Badger, there you go.
You muted me. That's one of the reasons when I found that clip, I wanted to share it, because that's one of the things I see all the time. They try to find that nitpicky, has nothing to do with what's really going on, to try to persuade people to go against voting for a person. I'm like, what does writing romance novels have anything to do with anything when it comes to politics?
Exactly.
Now, if she was out there abusing children, or has committed murders, sure, that's important to know. But writing fiction books based on romance? What? And sure, she used a different name. I could understand why a lot of people wouldn't want to read something that's from a politician or someone that does the kind of stuff that she does. So, to me, it doesn't matter if she used a different alias to write any kind of fiction book. It's a book. Well, it's just, and while I was doing research, I came across something else. I was asking Leonard to read it because I was kind of shocked to see that they're still trying to impeach Biden, and gave a huge list of why he should be impeached, or evidence, or whatever you want to call it. And one of them actually said it was resolved that he was impeached. And I'm like, wait a minute. This hasn't been put on the news or anything. So what does this mean? So that's why I was asking Leonard to read it to make sure I was reading it right.
Okay. Good deal.
Because what it makes me wonder is, if they did this behind closed doors without nobody in America knowing, then who's really running our country? And it proves my point that the president doesn't.
That's good. That's good. Toya with a T, you back with us?
I am.
What's on your heart, sis? Talk to me.
Oh man, a lot. I wanted to hear what Charles had to say, but hey, that some kind of fire ain't gonna make people say something. But we got to pay attention to who people say they are and understand that people are out there for a reason. Like, we get those for a reason. God had to allow the house Negro be the house Negro. God allowed Judas to flip on Jesus now. Can't nothing go on without allowing it.
Woo, tired.
I'm
Talk, girl.
I'm
Lord.
learning to not be so emotional and just look at who people are and know we need to use that as a tactic, like with the military. We don't ever show them what makes us move our buttons. We just need to know that we still got house Negroes, and that's how they got caught. And you are to listen to them to learn how they are and how they think. The same way, it doesn't matter who it is, enemy or friend. You must pay attention to people and who they say they are.
Yes.
And I'm not going to take away the fact that he feels like that, but me and him ain't going to get caught in the field alone together, and it's me or him. I know I got to get him first. So, you got to be mindful of somebody else's stance and understand that's how they feel, that's how they think good. I'm listening because I know that there's other Black people that feel this way, and that's what hurt us.
Yeah.
There are white people who don't feel the same way that their counterparts was. Some white people just went with it because I'd rather be white and a slave owner than dead and slave. And I respect that gangster because that's what you're willing to do to live. I'm going down with mine. You heard?
Exactly.
I'm not finna sell myself out. I'm going down with mine. And me, I'm not willing. And I don't want nobody to get mad with me because I'm not willing. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we gotta learn how to not be so emotional when we hear people expressing opinion other than ours,
Mm-hmm.
because God has to allow it. And if we know Satan can't win, we need to listen to Satan's plans
Mm-hmm.
and how he thinks.
Okay. And Charles just he just texted me and said that on his phone died. He's trying to come back in now, so hopefully he'll be back in, so we'll be able to hear his viewpoint and what he feels as well. But Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, I like honesty or whatever. You got
Mm-hmm.
some people, and you got some people. You have to admit, I've understood just on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, they over there. I don't know why they love what they love, but you shall perish with them.
Mm.
I'm you know me. I've always tried to uphold a certain standard, and I'm just not gonna shoot an unarmed brother.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm not gonna do it.
Yes, sir. Curtis. Leonard dropped he dropped the mic, man. So yeah, you got to pick it up, man. He just dropped the mic, so pick that mic up right there, Curtis, and let's keep this thing going. I think we have Charles back with us as well. Curtis, are you there? Oh, hold on, got Curtis on mute. Hold on, got to unmute him there. Hold on for a second. He has some background noise going on. Curtis, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you, man.
What's going?
Let me tell you what gets me. What gets me is, and I love it because we have tied God into this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a strong and fervent believer that one, God don't like ugly, and the devil damn sight don't like looking at himself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we speak on voting irregularities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they push that initiative or that narrative, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I want to say it was the Attorney General of Texas. He took and put $1 million of his campaign money to anybody who found voting irregularities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he would pay them. Well, guess what happened, Raheem?
What happened?
The mishaps that was found for the election was found to be on the Republican side.
Mm.
I'm not lying. And he didn't want to pay the dude. And it hit the national news that, hold on, you put this money up here to find voting. I always botch the word, but y'all know what I'm saying. And it came out that the irregular,
Illegal.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Irregularities.
Mishap was mainly Republican votes.
For Trump.
Democratic votes.
For Trump. I live in Texas. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm going to end it with this.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at all of the irregularities that was reported,
good job.
They was not reported as Democratic votes.
Mm-hmm.
That's nationally known.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm not saying one is right. Listen, all I'm saying is you're wanting me to act like, or you're wanting me to acknowledge wrong when I see the total opposite. You're asking me to acknowledge wrong in one, but the real wrong that's happening is in the other, and it's right there in our face. But man, I ain't never seen nothing like this, man. I feel like Tyrese and Transformers right now. You know what? Hey, Sergeant, can you tell me what you see? He say, man.
Hold on,
like right now, man. And I got a lot of respect for the Republican Party. The old Republican Party, the old conservative party, had a lot of promise to it. That's why you have what is called conservative Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to be a Democrat and be conservative. You can be both.
Exactly.
It's okay to be a Republican and have liberal ideologies. It's okay. But these folks is pushing this a serious neo-fascist,
downright diabolical,
neo-Nazi platform. It ain't no other way to put it, bro. Read that platform if they have one.
Hold on for a second, Kurt. Hold on for a second. Charles, coming back to you, brother. What's on your heart?
Let me tell you, I understand when you invite me here. I'm in a room full of liberal Democrats, and I've been around them many times and many years. And just the things that he just said by talking about what happened in Texas, and I said the same thing. Well, not the same thing. I said something about what the liberals or what the Democrats do with voting. You questioned me, but you didn't question him because, and I understand this. Hold on, because I do understand you're left leaning also. But what I said, and before you cut me off earlier, and I apologize because my phone, I had to switch over to my iPhone. What I was saying is that the hypocrisy is that people talk about you need ID, you shouldn't need ID to vote. This is what says you shouldn't need ID to vote. So, and then they turn around and say you have to have ID to get after you get your shot, you have to show your ID with your shot record to eat some places. You got what I'm saying? This is what's going on right now. You have to, once you get your COVID shot, which who's pushing the COVID shot? Once you get your COVID shot, you have to have your COVID shot paper and your ID in order to get on planes. You have to have your COVID shot record and ID to eat at places. So if you have to have your ID then, why can't you have your ID to vote? That's what I'm saying. It's not anybody holding back voting with IDs. If you can get an ID to get a COVID shot, which they're trying to run this thing on all people, we know black people ain't falling for it. A lot of black people ain't falling for it, rightfully so. Why don't you have to have your ID to vote?
Okay,
that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I wanted to
why I brought that up is because the hypocrisy of this candidate we're talking about. Because the question you talked about was the candidate. Georgia's not gonna be a blue state. I understand. And I understand a lot of people here don't like Republicans or don't like what they stand for, but I don't understand Democrats and black Democrats, being that we've been going through this as Democrats for so many years, and every year it's always the same complaint about the same thing. When you have Democrats, like a Democrat in power right now, and you don't have him being blocked by nothing. And people will say that though. He's not being blocked by the Republican Party to do certain things for blacks, and he's just not going to do it. But that's understood. I don't think that he's done anything for blacks in 40-something years, but we still voted for him. Okay. I just don't understand blacks who are Democrats.
Let's get some response.
I've never voted for a Democrat in my life, and I haven't always voted for a Republican because I voted Libertarian also. But I've just learned as a child, man, certain things that we've been pushed in our ear, and I go back and study it, and I really study it. And I grew up in the hood, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Candler Road, Eastwick. You know, I've always thought this, man. I'm 52 years old. I've always thought it's always the lesser evil for anybody, whether you're white or black or anybody, because everybody's evil.
Well,
and I've always
hold on, Charles. Let's get some response.
That the Democrats were the most evil people.
Okay, Charles, hold on. Let's get Charles. Let's get some response to what you're saying. Hold on for a second. Stay right there. I hope your phone hold up and you can stay with us a little while longer.
Hold up right here. I've changed my iPhone.
Got you. Hold on for a second. Anybody want to respond to what Charles just said?
As we would say at Hopewell Missionary Baptist Church, ain't nobody mad. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Now that's one of the biggest lies ever told. Charles sat there and told. Democrats ain't never said whatsoever on no platform that you shouldn't have to have no identification to vote. That's a lie. That's a lie. It's a bold-faced lie, because guess what? When you show up and show them what you got, they can look on a computer and see what you got. All you gotta do is give them your name, a piece of mail with your address on it, and they can tell. And then whatever.
Lying, man.
I actually vote. I'm gonna tell you how much it really.
Hold on.
This is how much you know it really was a scam. This whole strategy related to voter IDs.
Well, that's been going on for a long time.
So they proposed voter IDs as a response to this narrative of fraud, which was already disproven. and things of that nature. So the reason with the voter ID issue was because it had a cost associated with it. They never had any intention on. I still ain't seen the voter ID card. I still ain't seen one. Do you know anybody that got them, Cassandra?
No.
We haven't seen them. So this is the thing. We're going to tell you about a voter ID card, then we're going to make sure that you have a hard time getting it. That's voter disenfranchisement. I voted with my gun license last time.
All day.
Do you understand? So this whole created crap about voter ID is a strategy of the Republican Party to disenfranchise the vote.
One second.
Because when they came out with the voter ID, because this one brother I used to allow into the meetings because I wanted a diverse opinion who was more supportive of the Republican Party. I said, well, what is your suggestion, brother? That we raise money for people and buy them voter IDs. Okay. I just want to know what your opinion was and your strategy. Because you present as a person that's Republican, but you still want to be grassroots. They don't go together. Because one, the strategy that they use has never been for the poor and the disenfranchised, the disabled. It's never been in the benefit of women and things of this nature. That has never been their platform. So I go after people about what they say, their agenda. And if their agenda does not meet, then that is the message that I pass along to someone. I just don't hear a lie and say, they say this about, no, man, I can go right and look at it. I'm the guy that sits at the desk and help you register to vote. We'll come to your house and give you an application if you need it to fill out. We'll go hand it back in for you or what have you. And I will never tell you that you got to vote Republican or you got to vote Democrat. Here are both of the agendas. You choose. The average decent individual is going to choose the decent agenda. And we know in the community, the people that work in the community, the people that fight for other people's right, the people who care more about other people as well, we don't have no issue with this. We know what we're going to do, and let's just move forward, and let's just push all this ignorance off to the curb and allow the street sweeper to get it.
Good deal, good deal. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm still tickled pink.
Lord.
That's a lot of tickling. That's a lot of tickling.
That's a lot of tickling. That's a lot of tickling there. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm still one of those guys that will not wear pink for some reason. Now, I'm just here's where I am with this thing, because this thing has been going on for a while.
That's why we got to stop.
I made. And because I get confused, because here we are crying about being abused and used and manipulated, and we finally get to the point where we get out of the bondage mindset and we cross the sea. And we head into the direction that we have, and the cry is made. There's graves in Egypt, and we do it. We've been doing this for years. And here's where I'm going. And I have to say what I only talk about what I know. Okay.
Okay.
So I don't know politics. So I lead it towards how you can't get away from scripture. I don't care what you do. That's just what I know. You can't. But you get the same people that came out of the same situations, and we're heading in the right direction. But in the midst of us heading in the right direction, somebody comes and says that, Moses, you left us out here to die.
Preach, preacher.
And what happens now is that we start, instead of we talking about individuals and their character, or what's good about them, or what's bad about them, or what it is, we point out they're a Democrat or they're a Republican.
You don't want to talk about that, nothing else.
Or they're a woman. We don't talk about qualifications. And then we dig up information that we've heard before. from some other avenue. But it don't make no sense because it has no foundation. Where do you get that from? I just can't figure that out.
Wow.
So I'm trying to figure out because it puts us back to where we come from, divided. And anybody that it continues to be divided, you're never gonna make it. You're never gonna make it.
Come on.
So when are we gonna get to the point that we can become agreed? We agree that our neighborhoods are in trouble.
Absolutely.
I believe I can answer that question.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So if we can agree with that, and we have somebody that we can rally behind, and hopefully make things better, isn't it logical that we can do that? But no, we can't do that. Because we get something that we can't stand on, you can't prove, you can't. It has a truth, but it's not the truth.
Come on.
That's right.
That's
And
good.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. Absolutely. Absolutely. Rico, talk to me, brother.
It just shows how hard it is for people to wake up. And sometimes waking up is just having an open mind and giving somebody a chance listening to them. Instead of already having your prejudices. You know, they're going to use a lot of dog whistles and gaslighting. And it's probably going to come off like this. She's wearing your pants, be a man. See, that's your next topic.
Yeah.
But see, that's what a lot of those white, chauvinistic, neo-Nazi Republican males stand on. Like I said, you remember what Trump cabinet looked like.
Yep.
You remember what he said? He just walk up to women and grab them.
Exactly.
Oh, you remember the people in Charlottesville? They said they would not be replaced. They weren't white women. They weren't black women. They weren't black men. They weren't Mexican. Well, some of them Proud Boys, them doofuses was. But for the main reason why they were there because they support their white heritage. Their white heritage. They stand for something that the Republican Party defends. They the last platform that they can use to support that under. Then we have other black people listen to a black woman say, let's not make this a binary agenda. Let's not make this Republican or Democrat. He come right in and say, well, you know what? I vote Libertarian sometimes, but she's fine. She a liberal. God damn it, she's wearing the pants. Be a man. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. I'm like, man, she's pretty much saying what you said you were. You said that you try to see down the middle. You're a libertarian. You don't vote Republican all the time, but you never voted Democrat. She said, let's not make this a Democrat or Republican issue. Let's make this a human rights issue. See, and that's what we're supposed to be looking at. But we get caught up in all these talking points, like Curtis said. They find one little thing that attracts your attention or hits you in your heart. And then you run with it. You see these crazy people like Richard Steele sitting over in the Republican Party acting like they part of the big picture. Then all of a sudden, when it comes time to take the big picture, they sitting in the back. You can't find them.
Come on. Tell the truth, man.
Ain't number one truth.
So I mean, that's what it really is. We got to open up, man. I mean, listen, this woman said, and you listen to it coming from the horse's mouth until she proves otherwise. She is showing you that she only went on this Democratic ticket because this is who is going to favor what she stands for the most. She ain't saying that, but she's letting you know she don't want you to go under this rules of Democrat and Republican. Vote for her because of what she stands for.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, and that's what it should be. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, I know you wind up over there, sister. What's on your heart?
No, I'm not. But you know, the conversation sounds like the governor of Georgia when my folks at Moores Ford Bridge were killed because it was a voting time and they were trying to intimidate blacks. So they went around saying all kinds of things about black people and niggas want to do this and niggas want to do that and You know, we can't have niggas. You know, the person sounds like Governor Eugene Talmadge from 1946
Wow.
when he stood all over Georgia platforms and said niggas should not be able to do this. Niggas should not. A woman, Stacey, should not be able to do this. Nigga, you're sounding like a racist yourself, and you a black man. And I'm sorry, you have your opinion and keep it. I'm not even going to attempt because I can hear in your voice. You are diehard. It don't matter if it's right or wrong. If it's Republican, you all in. That's the way it sounds, the way you give it to us every time.
It don't matter.
But I'm afraid of a black man to think like that. I'll be totally honest. I'm afraid of a black man to think like that. What has that girl done? Tell me what she has done. I know her legislative record. Tell me what she has done against her community. Tell me what she has done legislatively.
Wow. I'm gonna go.
Come on now. I just need somebody to tell me. If he can tell me what Stacey has done, I'm good. And let me go and look it up myself and see that she did that. Something against her community, something against her state, something against her. Come on now. Show it to me.
Exactly. Well, I'm gonna go to Toya. Toya with a T. I'm coming to you, and after that, Charles, be on standby. You next.
Come on, Toya.
Trying to free the slaves, Cassandra. Cause listen, if you free them, I got to work. You know how this goes. Master gonna turn.
Come on, Toya.
So you going out there in that field. But hey, listen, we gotta understand, right? Like, it's not about color. We just said it because black people believe in slavery too. Black people sold off some black people. You understand? The law was don't look at white women, and some black people said, well, that's where Emmett Till get for looking at the white woman because that's the law. So you know, everybody in it. So do you know everything revolves around God, no matter how we try to act like it or not? And you know, every king that God told it was your last term, they did something stupid to the next one that was getting ready to take over. But the Lord was sending somebody new because you got stupid. You forgot who he was. You forgot who put you in charge. And you do the exact opposite of what I tell you. Oh, you use my name in vain. Oh, you killed in my name. Okay, I got you. And that's what this is. So we're right. Let me tell you something. When God comes for you, he's not going to ask you, you know, Republican and Democrat. Is he crazy? He don't see nothing but spirit.
Yeah.
That's right.
Every spirit of us, who regardless of what color you is, you think you're gonna get by because you're black. No, it's the spirit of who you are. And if you are built a spirit of wickedness and evil inside the black community that God has his hands on, you're gonna crumble. Say what you want to say, because this is what I'm used to. I'm not looking for nothing to change because this is how they used to do. They lied on Emmett Till. Do we know that?
That's right.
Do we know that
right.
they lied on him? Do we know that black people said that was the law? So that's what he get because he broke the law and they went with it. Forget the fact that it was right or wrong, but that was the law and black people went with it. So everybody not gonna be no soldier. Everybody ain't built to be the captain, the sergeant, or the corporal. Some people are just some people ain't even on the same team. Some people period.
Good.
And it is what it is because again, God allows it. So again, with us understanding about this fight, stop getting distracted by black, white, Republican, Democrat, and understand it's the spirit and listen to the spirit of people, and we know how to defend ourselves against them. And it's like this premise with black Republicans that they can't see that it's not our fault. They feel like we always want handouts. This be the whole thing with me with them. It don't be nothing personal. You ain't never been robbed by no black person. Ain't no black person ever raped you or your daughter. But you got this premise stuck in your head that, oh, the black people, they not want to work. They not want to do that. They want to give this, that, and that, third.
Yeah,
but
it's
you
the
so
truth.
godly though. But you so godly though. And anything that you say, it ain't a reflection of God. So again, this whole fight right here, it's about the spirit battle that we might as well stop talking about it. No matter what color you are, black or white, because white people did help us get free because it's their world. But long as our spirit continue to believe in something other than the freedom that God gave each and every single one of us, and you think that the power of the wicked devil will allow you to enslave people, if you keep thinking that that's what it is, you keep on going, because I'm telling you, something coming down the tunnel at you bigger than anything you could ever imagine, and he on his way.
Good deal. Good deal. Charles, let me ask you a question, Charles. Charles,
What's
can you
up,
hear me?
man? I hear you.
Do you think and this is your opinion? Do you think Kemp is a better governor than Stacey is going to be if she get in that seat, or how do you stand on that?
Yeah, I really don't back Stacey Abrams, and I don't pretty much back Kemp on everything. But I just don't back Stacey Abrams. She hadn't showed me anything. People say, well, she has to show. See, the thing about it is that she has to show me. I'm the voter of what I want to see. And I have voted, like I said, I've never voted for a Democrat president. I have voted Democrat in certain areas, but not a president. And I don't think I've ever voted for a Democrat governor either. If I can remember. You got to remember, I started voting at 18. I never missed the voting date. But a lot of weird things that people on here are saying that are just untrue. But if you've been fed that in your ear time and time again by a media that's ran by the people who you feel are against you, and you believe it, then you come to something like, sometimes you feel like when I talk to Black folks, it's like talking to a wall, because they only go by what they see on TV. A lot of them, not all. But I'm only saying this thing because the way that things that were just being said sounds like it to me. You understand? You got that from TV. The thing that happened in Cartersville or whatever that was, Bill, up there in Virginia, and whatever it was. Why you cutting me off all the time?
No, I just said let you talk. I said stop, y'all let him talk.
All right. That whatever that was up there, I had Charlottesville. I had somebody up there when it happened, and it wasn't the way what a lot of people think happened. I did a big thing on that on YouTube, and I had somebody that was there. There, and it didn't happen the way people think. And the clips that they put about Trump saying they're all good people, that didn't happen. That's just a clip. Nobody, when you say stuff like that shows me you didn't really hear the whole speech. You didn't hear the whole speech. Wow, nothing. You didn't hear the whole speech. Because if you heard the whole speech, you heard
No. Hold on. We're gonna be real respectful.
I challenge you to listen to the whole speech, and not just clips, but the whole speech. I challenge you, and then come back and say, "Wow, okay." But that's what I challenge you to do. Just like you all challenge me to do certain things, I challenge you all to do it. Listen to the whole speech, and see. And what happened up there again, with the Proud Boys or the Antifa and the Black Lives Matter, it was all set up anyway. You understand? People don't even understand what really happened. But I did a big video on YouTube about it. You can go check it out if you want to. Not promote myself, just trying to enlighten you, because I don't have time to go through the whole thing. It's just weird, man, that people here think that you're supposed to grow their way, but they don't want to grow your way. And people want to bring in God in these things, and the answer of God and this, that, and the other, as if they're the only one that know God. If they think that they're the only one that's doing God's work. See, we can all be confused, you understand, on what we're thinking and what we're going by. And then when you bring up color, when it's the time to bring up color, and then you don't bring up color, and then you bring up the parties when it's time to bring up the parties, and then you don't. What I look at it the whole way is that I go by what I look at. No, I don't believe that everybody, a Black Democrat, don't want to work and stuff like that. Democrats are some of the richest people in the world, in the country. There's been studies show that they're also some of the people who don't share their money the most. These are studies. I didn't make this up. These are studies. You can go look for it. If you go look for stuff, go look for it on DuckDuckGo and not go Google. Silly things that Democrats do, like tearing down statues or It's just not really Democrats, it's liberals, white liberals. See, if you take the word Democrat out of it and you use the word liberal, liberals are still liberal. From the 60s on up, they're still liberals. Matter of fact, Bernie Sanders was one of the liberals back in the 60s that Malcolm X was talking about. He's still a liberal. And he hadn't changed. So the size and flip, he is an exact liberal from the 60s that Malcolm X was talking about, not the trust. But we do it anyway. It's not a Democrat Republican thing. It's true, because you can be a Republican and have liberal views, and you can be a Democrat and have conservative views. But
let's stop right there. Let's stop. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let's stop. I want to pull some more people into the conversation. Hold right there. Badger, you had something to say, brother?
So, while he was talking and saying all this stuff, I started digging into everything, my research. I was trying to find bills that Republicans put up about equal rights and everything else, and couldn't find anything so far. I looked.
Thank you.
I'm over 100 so far, and not a single one written by a Republican for rights.
Did you find one about expanding healthcare? Did you find one of them?
Yeah, it was by a Democrat.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
I also looked up into one of the biggest things that's been being fought in Texas right now, but that's from the Republicans that the Democrats tried to fight, is increasing the difficulty to be able to vote by restricting what is allowed of how you can vote. More restrictions of what is required with your ID to vote. If you're a disabled person that has someone that helps you fill it out, they got to fill out an entire sheet of paperwork. Not to mention providing their social security number, their ID, and a couple of other things, just to help this disabled person to be able to vote, with them selecting who they're voting for. So I find a lot of things interesting, but I'm a logical human being. I'm Native American and I'm white. I want to know the truth. So I research. I want to see these bills that are being put in place right now, not 13, 14, 30, 40, 50 years ago, right now, that is actually for the betterment of the human beings in America. I want to see who's actually putting things out there for equal rights for all human beings. I want to see who is doing things in general. And so far right now, the ones I see writing the most bills, as far as picking a side, in quotation marks, has been Democrats. I don't care if a person is a Democrat, a Republican, a liberal. I don't do titles. God, Satan, Lucifer, I don't care about any of that junk being brought in. What I care about in this kind of topic when it comes to politics are facts. And if it's Democrats that are writing this, what is it? Is it a Republican that went over to the Democrats, to secretly do this stuff and wants to be called that? Or show me not news feeds or any of this stuff. Where's the actual proof? Instead of all this arguing and nonsense of he said, she said, news this, news that, show me bills that are being written that is actually beneficial.
Thank you.
Good deal.
And who is writing them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cassandra?
No, Badger hit it on the head. I just need, whoever believes that the Republicans are for all people in this country, I just need them, show me the social bills, the social legislation that they have tried to pass for civil rights, human rights. Give it to me. Give it to me, because I know what I've studied like Badger. I know what I've studied like Leonard. I know what I've studied like Toya. We have studied this stuff. We have done our research. I need you to tell me what bill right now, that the Republican Party has tried to pass or pass that would help civil and human rights in this country? Please list them off for me. Thank you. I'm waiting.
Well, Charles, he said he had to go. He's actually at work. He had to go and take care of some patients. And so,
Really?
Yeah. So he had.
Really?
He had.
Okay.
I have a comment, but I'll be civil.
Hey, Raheem. Hey, Raheem.
Yes, sir.
Raheem, can I say something real quick?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Brother, okay, Cassandra, you know you're my big sis, so I'm going to go ahead and give you an answer just to settle your spirit. None. The reason why.
Thank you.
And this is my opinion. The reason why there's this big push is because the plan is strategically to neutralize the Black, brown, and poor community's voice. Because if you neutralize that voice, then the UN can easily fold up the case and put it in a drawer. It's funny that Cassandra mentioned human rights. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of listeners don't know. We all know on this radio station. It is a case that is fervently going through the United Nations right now as we speak, of Black and brown American citizens fight for human rights. They are trying their best, and not only is it Black and brown, it is also indigenous Americans. Those are the three faces that are on the platform in the case in the UN right now as we speak, and is being investigated. If the UN rules in our favor, some of us don't want it, but you might as well set your mind for it. You're going to be getting a check in the mail, just like the Jewish community.
Thank you.
Every single year, every 3 years, every 3 or 4 years, there's this thing called, I want to say it's ACAP, but there's this meeting that happens every 3 to 4 years. The one that I remember specifically was on NPR 2004. I remember exactly where I was at. I remember exactly what I was doing when I heard it. The lawyers in all for the Jewish community was on NPR, and they were discussing that. I want to say it's called ACAP, but I could be wrong. They were discussing that the case every 3 to 4 years comes before the UN, and what the UN does is the UN evaluates if the German government has paid enough money to the Jewish community, and or if they need to add more money, or if they've paid enough but they still need to pay, that they can decrease their payment. That has been going on ever since World War II.
Wow.
So the fact that these Black folk, these so-called, I heard someone say, Black people making that statement scares them. It should. But all at the same time, don't be fearful, because what you're finding out is who's telling on you when you run, like Toya said.
Wow. Leonard,
I have never, just to add this disclaimer, for the record, I have never cast a ballot in any state that I done lived in Raheem, you know, I done lived around America, around the world. I have never cast a ballot anywhere
without your
that
ID.
I did not have to have a picture ID.
Absolutely. Me either, brother. Me either.
Amen.
Hey, you remember, Raheem? You remember that documentary I told y'all to watch a long time ago? Y'all might want to get Charles on it. It's called Hacking Democracy.
Exactly. Let me go to Tucson. You got something to say, Leonard? Coming to you next.
Thank you. Please, thank you. Please. Lord have mercy. Look here.
Oh
You know,
Lord.
I can't be, and I know that I'm not the only one that read the Bible. I'm not the smartest person. I'm no scholar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I can't think about nothing else but when Nebuchadnezzar built that statue, and everybody, when they heard the music, they were supposed to be bowing down. Well, there was three boys that wasn't bowing.
Come on,
And
preacher.
somebody came and said, "Hey, King, didn't you say when you heard the music that everybody was supposed to bow?" Well, remember them people that you put up there in charge? They ain't bowing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Negro, here's my problem with you, Negro.
Lord Jesus.
How you know that they ain't bowing when you're supposed to be bowing too? Because you got your money, you must not be bowing either. What I'm saying is, I can understand
Lord.
white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand clans. I can understand good old boys. But it confuses the heck out of me when it's somebody that's supposed to be doing the same thing, accomplishing the same thing as you, that just can't see it. And what they do is they try to do they they try to discredit. They don't come up with anything to say, okay, here's where I stand. Just like when, and I heard the comment, like you the only one read the Bible. I didn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, this is what's so good about DQ, this platform. We got people from every walk of life.
Mm-hmm.
Your opinions is welcome. But what I'm saying is, does it make any sense? And when it stopped making sense is where I have the problem. I'm just confused right now. I'm just confused.
I got you.
I'm confused.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Leonard and Enrico, coming to you next.
I think everybody has made it, very clear, where they stand on the issues. I'm used to a good fight, but it comes to a point where even myself I feel bad. I really do for people who have chosen the wrong side. All these folks, they say they doing right and they so Christian, they gonna be hurt. Their feelings gonna be so hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't expect to get through them gates doing what you've done down here.
Come on.
How can you expect that?
Mm-hmm.
What decent person doesn't want people to eat or have a home?
Amen.
Or wouldn't want to help folks, make sure that there was a thing to help folks like myself and Badger and things like that have issues with health and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Who's against helping elderly people out? Who's against that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now, this ain't no rocket science.
Yeah, come on.
Stacey Abrams is a brilliant human being, first of all. But all that aside, all that she's accomplished and everything, she still looks out for the indigent and those people who may have fallen away. She believes in conservative policy that includes social marginal benefits. And this is the progress and how progress is made. You can go right down here to the most racist person in the world and their child sitting in a wheelchair and ask them, now, please tell me the truth. You want to help your child or you want to support this foolishness?
Mm-hmm.
These folks over here want to provide health care and assistance to families caring for disabled children like yourself.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
You
That's
wouldn't
good.
vote for that?
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, I'm going to leave you right here with this bullet and this gun. Do
Mm-hmm.
yourself a favor. Because it's a shame that someone could trick you out of your own best interests.
Wow.
Your
That's good.
own best interest.
Mm-hmm.
Get you to the point where you can't see it. Or
Wow.
get you to the point where despite all of what your ancestors have been through, you will sit there and side with the Klan. Who does that? Them the folks that you got to, them the people telling we leaving tonight. That's who you need to quiet.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Rico?
Because even above and beyond all of that, you got your brother on here right now, Badger, looking it up, trying to find it. That's where people are right now. That's why people are right now.
Yep.
I'm sick of all this line. Let me go look it up. Well, doggone it. Then we got my man here from the other side can tell you what he was taught and how he was taught it. And then he had to say to himself, you know what? I can't fool with that kind of craziness no more. It just don't make no sense.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Hold right there, Leonard. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, man, this political thing, it has been evolving. Voters' rights has been evolving. Really, the fight to keep people from voting is what's really been evolving. For decades and decades and decades and decades. And here we go again. You know what the best, I'm going to say the greatest trick of the devil is to make people believe that something good is bad. To make people think that somebody that is good is bad, or that something that is good for you is wrong for you.
There you go.
That's the best trick of the devil. And then the trick you and make you think that the person that is good is actually the one that's trying to do what he's trying to do to you. So now here it is. They want to make people believe that this black woman having the audacity to run for governor is going to be bad for them. Because she might try to be president. We can't have that. Then they also want you to believe that, well, voting is okay, but you know what? You got to watch them black people because they like to lie and cheat. So we got to find another way. But see now, if we found a way to cheat and get people to vote illegally around driver's license, why won't they find a way to cheat with the voter ID?
Yep.
So
that was the whole scale.
Way when really and truly you're trying to create another obstacle.
Yes.
You can go and amend some of the things that's already in place to make it more foolproof, but instead they want to make it harder for you. And then they also want to make it where if you're standing in line too long because voting is in high demand and is needed where you are from, you might have to sit out in that sun and be thirsty. Can't nobody come give you no water. You better call somebody and tell them to bring a cooler. Or better yet, you better make this a picnic and bring your own stuff. Because we don't want y'all to have no assistance. See, they keep on putting up these roadblocks and then insinuating, like they always do. You got to watch them because they ain't going to do right. They always want to accuse black people of not doing right. Every time there's some kind of voting problem going on, it's in our neighborhoods. When the Democrats win, they couldn't believe Philadelphia swung the way it did. They couldn't believe Atlanta swung the way it did. But man, these people showed up. Well, they got to be cheating. They letting people vote for dead people. Come on. So you mean to tell me that y'all didn't think of a way to make sure that couldn't happen in the past? Y'all couldn't put up any preventive measures to make sure couldn't nobody use a dead person's ID? So I mean, you know, all these accusations that they're making and they never have the proof. Well, I guess in some cases they probably did have the proof. And if it happens, it just goes to show you that you have to amend the system that's in place with what you already have. You maybe have the people that's at the polls watching, you know, monitor them a little better.
Exactly.
You know, just put more regulations on how people have to vote, you know, with the ID that they have, states issued ID or whatever, gun license, like they said before. But this vote ID thing, man, once you read in between the lines and you know the history of government and how they have always kept on trying to find ways to create higher hurdles for us, this is another higher hurdle. And this is a time where we have to put our foot down.
Exactly. Good deal. Badger, give me your quick version, brother, but what did you find?
Oh, which part?
On
the voting?
Yes. Let's deal with the voting part. Yes.
So, like here in Texas, they passed what's called SB1, and it was signed by the governor too. pretty much in a nutshell, is it bans the drive-through voting. It doesn't let you no more, those polls sometimes, because there's people that work all types of hours, right? Those 24-hour places where you can go vote anytime in a 24-hour period.
Every state don't have them. Come on.
Right. They banned it in the state. They are limiting, they're making at-home caregivers. This is passed. This is now a bill in the state of Texas. So they've limited and made it harder. You have to do more work to actually be able to vote. So when those ballots are put up in a building or something like that, if you don't show up during that ballot time, you're probably not going to be able to vote, because they also can turn down your mail-in ballot. They're trying to make it where everyone has to show up within this time frame to put in your vote for whatever, the president, the governor, whoever, whatchamacallit.
And they can't even handle the turnout.
Exactly.
So, and here's the funny thing. This is after it was proven, but I guess the Democrats, they're tricking us, about all this. But I am very heated, so I'm trying to stay civil. Because of my personal experiences of not being able to follow my belief in the free country, I can't practice my belief because I don't have a Native American card. I take this kind of stuff serious. I have the heritage, I have the proof, but it's not enough for me to actually get a card to practice my belief. It's insane. So I understand not having rights. I understand being belittled. People might say because I'm part white, I have that white privilege. Sure, that's possible. But I follow my Native American belief and heritage, and I follow my Irish tribal roots. Well, guess what? In this country, they don't like that. They don't like people that stand up for community. That's the kind of people they want to get rid of.
Exactly. Wow,
Sorry,
man, we
I
got
could keep going, but I'm gonna hush.
it's so much tied into this thing. We already at 10:03, but I want to touch a few more people. So please give me your quick version. Toya with a T, what's on your heart, sis? Toya?
You said me, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, of course, it's the end of the show. Only thing I can say is let's stop looking for someone to point your finger at. We are all a part of our community. And we need to pay attention to what we're doing right where we are. We're not going to put it on Stacey. We're not going to put it on the president. We're not going to put it on the mayor. We all have a job to do, because no matter who gets in office, one person doesn't control 5.7 million people in that city, state, or area. So it takes all of us to be our own leaders. We all need to look at ourselves as a Stacey or a Kim or whoever, if that's what's going to get the job done. So let's, again, not get distracted by positions of authority or positions of leadership. And let's all work together despite our differences to make all of our communities better. Have some empathy.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, all Black people wasn't slaves either. So some people may just not be able to identify with us again. So let's just play our part to make the best community ever together, no matter who we are.
Good deal. Toussaint?
We shall open.
Lord.
And then somebody come and say, "No, we ain't. We've been overcome."
I'm gonna leave you right there, Toussaint.
Where you come from?
I'm gonna Cassandra, I'm gonna leave now. Toussaint, I'm gonna leave you right there, brother. I'm dropping you off right there. I'll be back. Cassandra.
Yeah, Badger, what Badger described in the laws that he shared with us is called oppression. Don't forget that.
Yes.
It's called oppression all day long, no matter how you turn it. is called oppression.
Yes.
And that is something that we have had to face as a community for years and continue to have to face in this country. And I think it's a shame. It's a shame. Why are you still trying to oppress our people? I don't get it. You fight us with voting. You still are not giving us equal rights under the law. I just don't get it. But we have to continue the fight. We have to vote. I don't care what anybody says. Voting is essential for all of us. This go around even more than last time. So I'm going to do my part and reach out, and I'm asking everyone under the sound of my voice to encourage your family members to vote. Whatever their vote is, encourage them to vote.
Exactly.
In local, state, and federal levels.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kurt, your quick version, brother.
My quick version is emancipation ain't free. It ain't free. The things we got to go through to truly be emancipated, it's all relative and it's all part of the process, but it ain't free.
That's good.
And when we start to realize that it ain't free, then we'll start our first rip at the letter that says, I stand here on the shores of Virginia on this day, in the day of our Lord, December 12th, to tell you that I have a short-shot way to control our Negro.
Wow.
For those that don't know what that letter is, it's called the Willie Lynch letter.
Lynch, yep.
Emancipation ain't free. So,
exactly.
That's where my mind is, brother. God bless y'all. I love y'all, man. Y'all have a wonderful day.
I love you too, brother. Love you too, brother. Rico, what's going on at 3 o'clock today, sir?
If you missed today's airing and would like to tune in or catch it in this replay in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Good deal. Toya with a T. Toya with a T, you there? Toya ain't gonna answer me now. See, Toya, you know I want her to pray us out, and she ain't gonna answer. Ain't that something? Ain't even gonna answer the prayer. Lord, my Jesus, how you ain't gonna answer?
I'm sorry, my bad. You said pray you out.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah, no problem. Father, thank you for another glorious day. Thank you for another opportunity to be able to converse with each other and get an understanding, Lord. You know what? You're a perfect Father and you love us all. But sometimes it's not so easy for us to love each other with our views. But we thank you anyway for understanding, love, protection, and guidance, Father. We want to actually continue to keep us covered and keep us close to you so that way we will do what is your will. We come to you in love, honor, and we praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. I told y'all this was gonna be a good broadcast today, didn't I? I told y'all at the beginning. Captain Leonard, did I tell him? I told him at the beginning. Did I tell him? I said it's gonna be a good.
Definitely. And I can't even remember us ever getting to the topic today, right?
And we did not. We did not make it, man. But like I said,
I'm docking your pay.
Please, man. But look here, I feel good about this, doc. Though I feel good about this.
You'll take that fine, LeBron. You'll take that one, LeBron.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Man, take this 15,000 and get out of my face.
Go on head on with that, man. Go on head on with that mess, man. Here, go on now. You need to do nothing for next week? you need another one for next week in advance. But listen.
Raheem.
Yes, ma'am.
Raheem, I just want to say that even though you didn't get to the topic, unlike Leonard, I'm going to cash up you the $5 that you would have made today. I'm going to do that.
I so appreciate it. Thank you. Woo, look at God. Look at God. God make
ain't nobody mad but the devil when you're trying to do right. And I plan on giving that joker problems. Do you understand?
Every time.
He's too scared. I'm going to kick down the door and throw him out.
Let's get out of here, man. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your day. It is now 10:10. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And then we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Stay blessed and take care of each other. Love you.